Hi there, my name is Cynthia Wakio, and today's topic of discussion is questions to ask in an interview to an interviewer. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you, Cynthia.
Why is it important to, ask a question at the end of the day as a candidate?
Now, whenever it comes to interviews, I normally advise candidates that the person who gets the job is not so much the person who's qualified, or it's not so much even the person who's skilled, but the person who's able to market themselves. So one way of marketing yourself, Cynthia, is to show that you are prepared, you are interested in this job, you know. And with that, two reasons why you should ask the interviewer a question is number one, to show that you're enthusiastic about the position. Because you'd imagine, even if it's you, when you meet a friend, the first thing you want to ask about them is, how have you been? How is life? Can you imagine if someone just told you nothing, you know? If they didn't give you a response. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, Cynthia, is because if you're interested with the job, you'd want to know more about the position. And by asking questions, someone says, yes, you're not only interested, but you're interested with the job itself and you'd want to know more information. Yeah. So it's important for you to ask questions, but you shouldn't just ask any question. For example, I see candidates making a mistake of asking about salary, compensation issues, things which have nothing to do with the interview itself. And I don't mean it's bad to ask salary details, but that should come later. So here we are discussing about the first interview. Yeah. So you should confine yourself to asking about the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the details of the kind of questions one should ask in an interview.
Good. I'll keep it simple. So some of the questions you can ask is this a new position? Or there's someone else there? If there was someone, what happened to them? Yeah, there are companies who keep hiring, firing, and sometimes if you put on them on the spot, you can be able to get information that will help you also make a decision. Because you remember, interviews is not about you coming out as desperate. No. So that's question number one. Question number two is, how does this position fit in the larger organization? Especially if you're applying for a supervisory managerial role. You don't want to know, have they thought well about this organization, about this position, or are you just joining and then you find yourself 3 or 6 months you don't have a job? Another one is, how do you measure performance for this position, especially for the jobs that have targets, business related jobs, business development, sales. It's important for you to ask that question. Another one I would recommend is, what are your key expectations for this role? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because normally in a job advert, you'll see like 10 responsibilities. But the reality is the employer would want you to focus maybe on 3 or 4. That's what they consider key. So when they tell you, then you can be in a better position to know, yes, there are all these 10 responsibilities I'm expected to perform, but I better not drop the ball when it comes to these top 3 responsibility. Another one is, can you tell me about the team that either I'll be working with or that I'll be supervising? Yeah. So you can see my advice for any candidate, for any professional watching this video is, ask a question and confine your questions to the subject matter, which is the job itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've broken it down very well, but it needs preparation. So are there avenues where candidates can be well prepared for this?
Yes, in fact, it's good that you brought up the issue of preparation, because if you are not prepared, that's one of the reasons candidates say they don't have a question, and it doesn't paint you, in the best way possible. Yeah. So before I give you a solution, what we offer to the candidates, if you look at the legal profession, whenever they are preparing you to go to the court, the advocate will sit with you, Cynthia, and they'll prep you. They'll tell you this is what to expect, this is what to say, these are the most likely questions you'll be asked. And that does help either the witness or whoever is appearing before the court to be confident. So it's not any different when it comes to job search. Times have progressed, so now there's help. So if you normally attend interviews and you don't get to the next stage and you feel that you did your very best, then it's time to seek help. So here at Corporate Staffing Services, we do offer a service, interview coaching and preparation, where you come and we do a mock interview. So you sit with one of our experts, they'll ask you questions, And based on the answers, Cynthia, they'll tell you, okay, this is where you're doing, this is where you're doing well, or this is where you need to improve. So they'll ask you even the tough questions. Tell me about yourself. What are your salary expectations? Then if it's competence based, they'll ask you questions which are related to the job, that you'll be interviewed. They'll also ask you questions related to the soft skills. So that way, the goal is to empower you to be more confident, such that now when you meet the panel, when you meet the one interviewer, you'll be confident. Yeah, and confidence comes from practice. I always like giving this example of the marathon guys, the guys who ran for 42 kilometers. Now, as when you're watching them on TV, we only see them winning that one day. What we forget is these guys, they always wake up at 4. They do 40 kilometers every day. So by the time you're seeing them running in Rome, Dubai, New York, I mean, that's something they're used to doing. So it should be the same for you as a professional.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, have you practiced for the job that you're going to be interviewed? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for giving us those tips.
Thank you too.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. For more information about interview coaching, please click on the link below. Thank you so much and see you next time.